Today I want to talk about communication, or the lack thereof. I think often we think we're communicating with each other, but we're really not. See, we use this thing called language, the written language and the spoken language, and words. And I think we have to understand that each word has a meaning specific to the person who's thinking it. So that means when I use a word in written language or in spoken language, trying to communicate with you, I really have no idea what you mean by that word that I just used. In other words, what meaning you have in your mind about that word that I used, and whether or not it's even similar or exact or maybe quite different from the meaning that I had in using that word. So that means that the use of this language and the meaning of the words is very subjective. And that causes a challenge in communication. So I'm wondering, is there another way of communicating that is more objective? And what's coming up for me about that is feeling and sensing. I think maybe also in storytelling. When you're telling a story, you're giving the words and the meanings of the words some really interesting context. And my hypothesis, maybe it's a theory, is that the oral tradition that goes way back generation upon generation in the indigenous cultures, that's the storytelling power. The power of telling the story so that you get a better shot at really communicating, because the words that are being used are shared in context. So it's a more objective sharing of the words. So the written language and the spoken language, when it's not a story, that goes way back to the first written language. And I think you have to recognize that a couple of the things that come with the written language can be challenging. We have contracts, we have laws, any agreement that is written down on a piece of paper and one person signs or both people sign. So you can say, from that perspective, the written language has given us our legal system, our judicial system, our global legal system, which my hypothesis, might be a theory, is that the whole structure of the legal judicial system is incomplete. It's very subjective. It's like an open sieve for misunderstanding. Creates the opportunity for deceit, exploitation, manipulation, bad stuff. So I think at this juncture, humanity, and with the misunderstanding, needs to just embrace the feeling and the sensing part of communication and really embrace storytelling. But not just the elders doing the storytelling. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And when they clear the decks, it's a beautiful story that everyone else wants to hear. Because when people tell stories from their heart, it reflects and reminds other people how beautiful their heart is and how much joy can be found there. And I think in the sharing of the feeling and the sensing, it's really tapping into the non-physical. It's tapping into the energetics of everything. And another very important thing is that we have the opportunity, we have the right, I think we have the duty to rework language as we evolve. And we need to expect that the words that we use in a highly fear-based, exploitation, manipulation, deceitful culture and society and economy are going to be very different in a gifting economy, in a gifting culture, a gifting community, a gifting society. And that means we need to be willing to create new words, to create new meanings for existing words, and to gather together in great numbers, in small numbers and great numbers, to share the stories, those beautiful stories. So I think I'll leave it there for now. Until next time, take care.